Hello everyone. This is a video on how to start a computer science project for class 12. And if you look at the syllabus, you have 8 marks which is going to be awarded for your project work, and it has to involve the concepts of classes 11 and 12. So how do you implement your projects for grade 12? If you look at your syllabus, it has grade 11 portions and grade 12 portions, which has to be implemented along with file handling and Python SQL connectivity. And of course, the syllabus says if the student goes a little beyond the topic with a little extra effort, it is going to be an add-on effect during the practicals external examiner's review. So it is going to be a boon to the student also, because they tend to research and they start learning and they start developing interest to build their own applications. I strongly discourage students from copying or downloading projects from the online websites. So if you look at Python, Python is a very rich programming language which extends itself to other platforms. So it is very compatible with the web development. If you look at AI or machine learning, it has compatibility there or too. Then if you look at desktop GUIs, Python is very user friendly there also. With data science and visualization also, Python has done a good job. So you have a variety of topics to choose within the different applications. So how can you build the best or a simple and the best project is by developing a front end and a back end for your project. Now, what do you mean by a front end? Now, if you look at the car is very beautiful because it has the seat, the tires, the overall make of a car looks very beautiful and it attracts the buyer to buy it. Similarly, when you look at a application development program, your program which you are going to develop, you have to make it very attractive by creating a very attractive front end. So the front end is nothing but what the user sees. The front end is going to be your buttons, your text labels, all these are going to make up your front end. So that is how we are going to compare it to the car. Now, if you look at the back end is nothing but the working system, the gear system, and the fuel system, injection system, which is there internally, which the user or the buyer cannot see. That is your backend. So the backend is the coding with your little bit of database system where the data has been stored. It can be retrieved, it can be searched. That makes up your database system. That is your backend, along with a little bit of coding which has to be going in. So this is the front end and this is the back end of our car. Similarly, we are going to do it for our projects too with our code. Now, how do you create a user-friendly project? Your project needs to be very simple and it needs to be attractive. So how do you make that? By using GUIs. Now, what does a GUI stand for? GUI stands for graphical user interface, and it always allows the user to interact and it helps the user to feed the data efficiently. Maybe if you're going to fill the phone number, you have a text box in it which says you can enter only 10 numbers. Or if you're filling the age, it does not allow the user to fill any letters in it. So this makes the procedure very smooth. And at the end of filling the form, there is a submit button where the user has to go and click. So this is a simple example of a GUI. The username and then the labels. These are the labels for the username and password, and where you enter are called as a text boxes, and where you submit is called your button. Now, what are the various uses of GUI? So GUI usually makes the end user, the non-programmer who sits at the end of your development, who's going to test or who's going to try your application, should be finding things very easy. it is going to be attractive, and it helps him to enter the data smoothly without any hurdles. Now, what are the top 5 Python GUIs which you can use as a starter? The best and the easiest of all is the Tkinter. Of course, you have the Qt. So these two are going to help us to build the front end. And in my videos, you will be seeing most of it in Tkinter and a little bit of Qt. And of course, you have the WX Python, and the Python GUI also. How do you create projects? So this is a small reflection which you can have to create your own project instead of downloading it and showing it to the external examiner. You should plan your project way before time, maybe 6 months ahead what the syllabus says, but you should start developing it in grade 11 so that you have enough time to remodify and build it using grade 11 and 12 concepts. So planning or getting ideas, looking at problems you face day-to-day lives, applying it as real life examples. So your problems which you face, you might get a few solutions. That is called real life examples. So if you're looking at a banking system, or if you're looking at a particular way of doing it in a bank, okay, so that operation, a little bit of change can be done, so you can simulate that. That is a real life example. Then you can implement whatever you've learned. For example, in a banking problem, you have a particular module where you can implement an if-else structure, or you can implement it as a looping structure. Then you can implement simple concepts and try out these problems and give it a better solution. So connecting your classroom concepts with the problems which you have seen with your if structure or a looping structure, or even your the number guessing game where you are going to use a random module. You can generate that as an OTP within the 4-digit number, and you can generate that. So unplugged activities are nothing but you're again going to implement the ideas which you have learned in class into the problems, and you're going to start developing your projects. So the same thing, example which I gave is your OTP generation, your if-else structure in a banking system, which can make this current system a little better. So that also can be done. Or if you want to do the attendance system, which your teacher finds it difficult to enter attendance manually, you can do that also and simulate and show it to her. So things like that you can implement in the unplugged activities where you have learned programming concepts, plus you are going to implement it into a real life application. Then of course you can have reflections. Reflections are nothing but you're going to look at the program and you need to keep changing and modifying it according to the end user's needs. Now let us see the few topics which you can pick and you can start working on. That's a student management system, attendance, monitoring, marks, tabulation. Then you have the library system, timetable, and all these are available online, but you don't need to go and download it. You can start from scratch from your own ideas. You can have that, and you can have your own ideas. You can build it from scratch. So I will be helping you with how to create your synopsis, how to start building it from scratch. Then few advanced topics which might include data science. It might include a few additional packages in Python, and you will do wonders in your project work. Plus you're going to learn new things simultaneously, and it is going to add on to your profile in future. So in the next video, we are going to see how to install packages and how to simply create your own projects without having to download it or copy it from anywhere.